You see, whenever we can test the radiometric dating method, it fails miserably. Radiometric dates are based on circularity and evolutionary assumptions.
Attention all personnel.
Well, hello, welcome back to the video series. I'm glad you've joined me. Before we move along, I just wanted to call your attention. This is the last of the Complete Creation video series, but you have not heard the last of me yet. While this may be the final video in this series, as I'll explain in a moment, videos will continue to be produced, updated regularly, answering the detractors continually, as well as posting new information. I'll give you more information on that in just a second. I wanted to call your attention to a number of resources which are associated with this video series. First of all, obviously, my website, ianjuby.org. Please do drop by and visit, as well as check out my newsletter blog, ianjuby.org/newsletter. You can check out my blog there and check out the latest newsletter, my latest rants and raves, where I'm at, what I'm doing, and all that stuff. So that's ianjuby.org. Also, while you're there, please notice right on the front page, you will see two sign-up boxes. One is for the In 7 Days Crash Course in Creation. Now what this is, you insert your name and your email address, and once a day for 7 days, automatically, it delivers one part of a course, a 7-day course in creation. And it's intended to wet your whistle, totally free, no commitments involved whatsoever. And it's intended to wet your whistle, give you an introduction into the creation-evolution debate, some of the evidence involved, and just to hopefully garner an interest in your life into the creation-evolution debate. Also on there is my electronic newsletter, again, totally free, no obligations involved. I have the most recent information and where I'm at, what I'm up to. I have occasional giveaways and contests as well, and so the sign up for that is on there as well. Also help you to keep track of where I'm at and what I'm up to, and the new Creation Museum project that will be starting up, Lord willing, this fall right here in Canada, and possibly going on tour in the US later on. Also, in association with this video series and devoted for this video series, Complete Creation, all one word, completecreation.org. That will be the website that is devoted to as a resource website for this video series. On there you'll find, for example, a complete listing of all the videos and the content of all the videos. You'll find my good friend Brock Lee from Minnesota has very kindly assembled some resources for homeschoolers. I know a lot of homeschoolers and private schoolers will be using these videos in their classes. What Brock has done is compiled things like question and answer sheets. So after the students watch the videos, they can go through the Q&A sheets, extra resources, etc. Also, there will be on that website references. The references that are in this video series that I referred to will be provided there, as well as further reading of resources, web links, online videos, all kinds of things associated with this video series, plus the latest and up-to-date information, because this video series will be reshot again in the future, anywhere from 1 to 3 years, depending on how things go. This has already been a 1-year project. So in the future, this video series will be reshot again with more up-to-date information, more information. This video series would have been longer, except due to the circumstances at the time, we wound up shooting at least 3 or 4 hours less than was originally intended. It was originally intended to be a 15 to 20 hour video series. We only got about 12 hours shot. So the next series will be even longer and more exhaustive than this one, so even more complete creation. Okay, also, Now, as I said, you have not heard the last from me. On YouTube and GodTube, as well as on my website, ianjuby.org or completecreation.org, should something happen to either YouTube and or GodTube, which is now called Tangle, by the way. GodTube.com has now become Tangle.com. But on both of those, I am username Wazulu, Wazoloo, or Wazoloo if you're Canadian. So, on there, please do subscribe to the channel. And by all means, drop in comments into the videos. Make sure you rate all the videos, because let me assure you, the anti-creationists are out there in full force doing all that they can to downplay the videos on YouTube and give them bad ratings and bad comments and all that stuff. So please do visit there. That is where I will be posting new videos. This video series, unfortunately, we've run out of time. This has to be the last DVD. And so we've actually run out of time. There's actually more that I would have included, but we simply need to finish the video series. So I will continue to produce videos, including things like some spectacular fossil human footprints that have come out of the Paluxy even after the shooting of this video series. And so we have produced a video which made it to #1 most discussed video on YouTube Canada within 3 weeks of it being posted on YouTube, and that was on the Delk track. That was only the beginning. There was actually about, I think we're up to 6 fossil footprints now, and the video explains the use of CAT scans. I won't go into details, but I will save it for that video where we'll compare carved tracks, genuine fossil tracks, and we'll show you the differences visible in the CT scans in that video. So make sure you check out there later on. Now, back to answering the detractors. Okay, this was a viewer request. Ian, can you deal with the hominids? Okay, the hominids are these supposed half-ape, half-human fossils, of which, of course, I have a collection here, and we're going to discuss that briefly. Let me just start off by saying I am not at all impressed by the arguments used by the hominid fossils. They don't impress me. Here's why. There is no mechanism for evolution. There isn't any. None. Zippo, nada. There is no mechanism. I already dealt with this in parts 12 and 13 of the video series, so I won't go into it now, but mutations do not produce information. They destroy information. They lose information. So there is no way from simple organisms to go into more complex organisms. So what you see here is evidence of dead things. You do not see evidence of evolution, but they will try and portray that. Tune into my YouTube channel later on where I'll discuss the things like out of order or out of sequence geological layering, etc., out of sequence fossils, which I dealt with in the video series, of course, a little bit, but I'll go into more detail and show you that there is no fossil sequence. It does not exist, even though that is heavily portrayed. Now, this, of course, what I'm going to refer you to today, this is the year of Darwin. This is Darwin's 200th birthday this year. Just happened in February this year. This is Scientific American, January 2009. Just came out. They have in here, of course, a wonderful, wonderful propaganda piece on the hominid fossils, and I'm going to deal with this chart right here and every single one of these hominids, because this chart is intended to overwhelm the reader with the supposed evidence for evolution. Let's take a look at some of this supposed evidence. First of all, let's examine the differences between human fossils and ape fossils. And remember, even within humans, we have incredible variation. Within the apes, we have incredible variation. So, but there's still two very distinct categories. Okay, so bearing that in mind. Now, here we have here a book or an image. I've added part of my own image here. The Evolution Handbook, an excellent little book you can buy online. Dirt cheap book, wonderful resource. You can buy the larger book, which is a beautiful book and an excellent resource. But here you can see the general shapes of the mouths of various man and ape. You'll notice, for instance, the ape, of course, makes more of a U shape, whereas the human jaw makes more of a parabolic shape. Now, I included Kermit the Frog's mouth shape in there because, of course, evolution has a frog turning into a prince. And if you don't believe me, well, just check out the most recent Scientific American issue, and in the article, This Old Body, where they try and blame your bad habit of hiccuping on your ancestral relationship to frogs. Yep, the truth is stranger than fiction. Okay, now there's another test you can use to check between humans and apes. Now I call it the oculus test. Oculus is Latin, of course, for glasses. So I brought out my fancy high-tech pink glasses. Here's a little test you can do. You see, humans have this bony brow ridge right here. And this bony brow ridge allows us humans to wear glasses. Apes are missing this bony brow ridge, as you can see here. So when they attempt to wear glasses, well, they can't. The glasses fall down their face. So humans can wear glasses, apes cannot. So we'll keep the Oculus test handy, and we'll use that in testing our ape skulls here in just a minute. Now, also some other subtle features which you won't see unless you actually go looking for them. Apes, for example, do not have feet. They have essentially 4 hands. Also, their toe bones, if you want to call them that, their finger bones, toe bones, are curled, and that's so they can hang from the trees. Now, in this skull here, the foramen magnum is the hole where the spinal column enters the skull. And in apes, as it is in this one, if you look at it from the side, in apes, it comes in on an angle. And that's because, of course, they don't walk upright. They walk leaning forward. They walk down. They're knuckle walkers. So they don't actually habitually stand upright, although they can. They don't habitually stand upright. Humans, the foramen magnum, is much more pronounced in a much more up and down, straight up and down fashion. So that's another major difference to look for when you're checking out the skulls. Now let's go through the list of fossils published in the most recent edition of Scientific American. Okay, this is the Taumai skull. First on the list. When it was first discovered, it was heralded as our oldest relative to date. However, shortly after it was revealed, experts in Paris, specifically Dr. Sanu, I hope I pronounced her name right, or Sanois, it'd be a French name, said that it was nothing more than the skull of a female gorilla. Oops. Oh well. However, the proponents of the skull claimed it walked upright, again because of the foramen magnum. They said it was more vertically oriented, more upright, which indicated it stood more upright than more of a knuckle walker. Problem is, the skull itself was so badly crushed, you really couldn't tell the angle of the foramen magnum. So, at best, it's debatable, at best. And even then, it's speculation. We have evidence of a dead thing. We do not have evidence of a fossil. We would have to observe it living to be able to determine whether it walked upright or not. Okay, this is Auroran tugensis. Okay then. Well, moving right along. There's not a lot to say about it. I mean, sorry, what are you supposed to say? Ardipithecus ramidus cadabadabadoo. Okay, this was the Flintstone fossil. I mentioned about it in the video series, so I won't go into a lot of detail here, except to say this. It was one fossil. There was barely enough there for one fossil. But now they've actually split it into 2 different fossils, Ardipithecus ramidus and Ardipithecus cadaba. Okay, well, anyway, I dealt with this in part 15, talked about the toe bone, which was found apart from the skeleton. They claimed it was evidence it walked upright. Dr. Joseph Mastropolo showed that that was just plain not true. So, anyway, Australopithecus enamensis. Okay, the evolutionists themselves don't even know what to do with this evidence. It's so scant, okay? I don't even have a picture to show you. It's that unimpressive. A portion of the jawbone is really the best they got. How does this help evolution? Okay, they only portray it in the magazine for one reason and one reason only, and that's so that they can fill a page and make it look really impressive. Okay, really, that's the only reason it's there. In 2006, however, this is very interesting, more fossils were found which they attributed to enamensis. They found enough of the wrist bones to determine that it was a creature able to lock its wrists like an ape. In other words, it was a knuckle walker. Like we can lock our knees, the apes can also lock their wrists so they can walk on their wrists. Australopithecus afarensis. Now, of course, this, is where the famous Lucy skeleton comes into play. This is one of the afarensis skulls. It is clearly ape. First of all, you'll notice it fails the Oculus test. We already tried that. It fails the Oculus test. Okay, the foramen magnum clearly shows it is ape-like. The foramen magnum comes in at an angle. It's farther back in the skull. Everything about it is ape-like. There's nothing un-ape-like about it. Now, with regards to the Lucy skeleton, I made a correction earlier where I said that Donald Johanson had included a knee that was found at 2.5 kilometers away. Now, that's not true. However, I will lay the blame at the feet of Johansen once again for this, because even in the Nova production, which I showed you a clip of, even in that production, he continually refers to that knee that was found 2.5 kilometers away as though it was directly associated with the skeleton, because in his mind, it is. In his mind, they are the exact same creature. Now, you know what? Hey, maybe. But even with the knee joint that they found, it is still within the realm of the apes. There's nothing supporting evolution here at all. Kenyanthropus pallidiops. Okay, the discovery of this skull really upset the evolutionists. For example, Lieberman wasn't kidding when he wrote in Nature, said at present, it is hard to believe any reconstruction of hominid relationships because of the abundance of independently evolved similarities in the hominid fossil record. The complex mosaic of features seen in this new fossil will only exacerbate the problem. I will merely point you out to the Science Against Evolution website. Here's the link here. Hilarious website, very well researched, well written. It's great fun to visit. And basically, I'll let them lay waste to Pallidiops because it's just another ape fossil. Okay, Australopithecus garhi. Now, this was originally thought to be a link between the Australopithecines and Homo, or man. Even now, the evolutionists don't believe it's ancestral to humans, even now. So, a question for you. Why did Scientific American include it in the chart if even the evolutionists themselves don't think it is ancestral to humans? I'll tell you why. Because it's propaganda. They want to show you the supposed overwhelming evidence for evolution. So far, not so good. There isn't any evidence for evolution. We see evidence of dead things, not evidence of evolution. Okay, by the way, there was supposed crude stone tools found with garhi. Wait a minute. Yeah, apes sometimes use stone tools, or what we would call stone tools, but humans make crude stone tools and use them. Is that perhaps evidence that people were around at the time of garhi? You see, the evolutionists never stopped to conclude this. They never stopped to even think about that. No. Humans had not yet evolved. It's because of the evolutionary presuppositions. They never even consider it. Australopithecus africanus. Now again, another dead end according to the evolutionists. So I ask the question again, why is it on Scientific American's chart? Why is it on this chart? Because they want to overwhelm you with the supposed evidence for evolution, of which there isn't any. Now, one of these fossils involved here is the Taung child. I have a cast of it here. This is the Taung child. Not a very big fossil. It was, and in fact, I tell you right now, it is a baby chimp. Now, it's very interesting. This fossil, when it was first discovered, the original reports placed the cranial capacity, the brain capacity, at 510 cubic centimeters. Later on, further research indicated, no, we're mistaken. It was 407. Wait a minute. That's an error of 20%. And in fact, check out this CRSQ article, September 1983, in which they go over the variability of cranial capacity in the reports of these creatures. Why? Because the brain capacity is important to an evolutionist for interpretation of the fossil. In their mind, no pun intended, in their mind, the bigger the brain, the smarter the creature. So whenever these fossils are first reported on, notoriously they are reported with exaggerated brain capacity. In this case, an exaggeration of at least 20%. This is nothing more than a chimp. Paranthropus Ethiopithecus, sorry. Now, take a look at this picture yourself. Even an amateur can tell it's an ape. See that heavy bony crest down the back of the skull? That is a morphological feature of a male gorilla. The muscles from the jawbone head up over the skull and attach at that bony brown ridge. Now, some people in environments where they have very heavy, hard to chew diets will sometimes get a bit of a gull ridge there, but nothing as prominent as this. That is an ape feature. It's an ape. You'll notice it'll fail the Oculus test. It can't wear glasses. It's an ape. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, Paranthropus robustus and Boise. Now, this is very interesting. I've got Zingy here. Where's Zingy? There's Zingy. This is better known, nicknamed as Nutcracker Man. Again, fails the Oculus test. Can't wear glasses. Okay. And the Foramen Magnum, again, there's nothing about that skull that's even half ape, half human. Again, there's that heavy bony crest. Everything about it is ape-like. Everything about it. Now, the thing is, both Robustus and Boise, they're both dead ends, again. So, over and over again, when we take a look at this wonderful chart, which, by the way, if you get a copy of the magazine, look at the chart, you'll notice that a lot of these lines are dashed lines, even the straight ones. Guess what? That's all their best guess. That's all they can do is give a guess. But once again, here we have another two dead ends that even the evolutionists do not think support evolution, really. So why are they even in the article? It's because without it, they don't have much of a chart. It's for propaganda reasons only. There is no other reason for it. Okay, Homo habilis. Okay, here's the fun one. This is skull 1813. This is one of the habilis skulls. Previously, in the previous video, we talked about skull 1470. That was originally attributed to Homo habilis. Now, they call him the Tool Man. The reason is because there was supposed crude stone tools found nearby the skull. Again, it begs the question, were these creatures using the stone tools, or were people around at the same time and they had the stone tools? Or is it a misinterpretation of the stone tools? Hard to say. Again, fails the Oculus test. Can't wear glasses. Everything about it is ape-like, even though the skull has been pretty badly crushed. The features of it are ape-like. Now, habilis was thought to be ancestral to humans until last year, 2008. Two fossil discoveries actually altered that view, and as seen even in this BBC article here, there's a web link for you right there on the screen. Read the article yourself, okay? Oh, I can't believe this. Okay, even in this article, two fossil discoveries altered their view. They even led to speculation on the sex lives of these creatures. Yes, some people think you can figure that out by looking at a dead thing. Anyway, okay. Check it out. Here's another link to a very well done and typically hilarious Science Against Evolution article. Check it out for yourself. Also check out this webpage. This is from John Wood Morripy. An excellent article compiling the characteristics of multiple hominid species. Okay, I gotta go fast here because we're running out of time. Homo ergaster. Again, multiple skulls have been found. The variations of this fall within, the variations in the skull fall within the variations we see today in mankind. You'll notice, for example, these bony brow ridges. These are totally human skulls. There's nothing unhuman about them. But these bony brow ridges, you'll see those. In fact, you'll see them in people around you. Just don't stare, okay? It's rude. But you'll see them on people around you. It's from a hard-to-chew diet. Some of the muscles that go up and over your skull from your jaws actually build out those bony brow ridges. In the outback of Australia, people, they don't have things like pliers. They use their teeth. And so as a result, they wind up developing these heavy bony brow ridges. Modern people even have that today. There's nothing unhuman-like about it. Okay. Homo antecessor. Look for yourself. Again, what am I supposed to say? There's not a whole lot there to comment on. What little we do see, it falls within the variation we see in people. So, hey. Homo heidelbergensis, again, completely human. How does this help evolution? Doesn't help it at all. Homo neanderthalensis. Here's one right here. Again, passes the Oculus test with flying colors. He can wear glasses quite nicely. Now, you'll also notice something very interesting here. Check out the size of the skull compared to mine. If you go by the evolutionary assumptions of cranial capacity, Homo neanderthalensis would have been a genius. His skull capacity is larger than ours, implying he was smarter than us. This helps evolution how? Once again, it does not support evolution. Also, check out Dr. Pittman Hayes' article right here. There's the link there on the study of the DNA of the Neanderthals. As it turns out, the Neanderthals are closer, or humans, we see more variation in the DNA of humans. Humans, modern day ones, can be more distant from each other genetically than we are distantly genetically from the Neanderthals. Totally human, completely modern human, nothing unhuman about them. Okay, last one, Homo erectus. Homo erectus originally thought to have evolved from habilis until Homo erectus fossils were found in the same layer and not far away from habilis fossils. Oops. And you remember the tool man? Yeah. Maybe Homo erectus, completely modern man, was the one that was using those tools that were found with Homo habilis, the tool man. Yeah, you remember those? Yeah. Okay, last one, Homo floresiensis. This is a new one, found in Indonesia in 2004, better known as the Hobbit fossils. These are skeletons typically 1 meter tall. Some evolutionists are suggesting they are humans who simply have microcephaly or poor nutrition. There's not a heck of a lot to say here. You've got evidence of a dead person, not evidence for evolution. Even the evolutionists can't sort it out amongst themselves, whether they're just modern humans or what. So far, from what I've seen, I'm not impressed. They just look like humans. Last one, here's Peking Man. Now, sadly, all evidence was lost during World War II. Nothing unhuman-like about it. It is totally human, just with heavy brow ridges. Part of a mass burial site, probably from humans, intelligent man, actually systematically decapitating and eating apes. And there was a furnace there and everything. I mean, it was a pretty elaborate site. Again, no evidence of anything other than human activity and intelligent man. Okay, to tie all this together into one closing comment, did you ever notice that the evolutionists never seem to find any ancient ancestors of the apes? But I'm out of time, and we got to close off this DVD. Thank you for joining me. My name is Ian Juby. If you're watching by DVD, stick around. The best is yet to come. For the rest of you, thanks for joining. God bless.